Once upon a time, I'm back again to predict a bunch of things, because, that's what I like doing. Hello, I'm the Theorizer, and I just spent the last month binging seasons 1 through 11 of Supernatural for the first time, and I must say, time well spent. But now I'm sick of binging shows, and in real life I'm also sick. You can probably hear it in my voice, but the show must go on, of course. But today I'm bringing you a superb, top-notch theory that I came up with, predicting every single thing that will happen in the upcoming episodes of ABC's Once Upon a Time. As you know, I'm one of the theory YouTubers whose every single theory is taken straight from my mind, not from an external source. So as I'm watching Once Upon a Time, my observations are insane, and I use Twitter to predict crap loads of different things. And fair warning, this is going to be the single biggest spoiler alert I will ever give out on this channel. You must have seen up to Once Upon a Time Season 6, Episode 10 to understand any of this. Okay, let's go. As I was watching this series, I perfectly predicted that Liam Jr. was the boy on board Captain Nemo's submarine. I predicted from the very first episode of Season 6 that Gideon was the figure under the hood. I got this based off of the fact that a child of Rumpelstiltskin's would naturally be like an opposite savior, and my prediction came true in a way that was unbelievably cool. And finally, ever since Season 4, I'd predicted that the dragon was Lily's father, and I was wrong. Or was I? It hasn't yet come to pass, but that is no matter. The creators were very recently questioned about it, and they said that Lily's storyline wouldn't be covered in Season 6, and that the dragon was not her father. Covering up their tracks, the producers are. They're saving this for Season 7 and won't reveal it. I mean, the sheer way that they set up the whole series for him to be the father is beyond coincidental. I ain't buying it, you two. Anyways, the final theory I had on this season was the following, which I am certain a few others have also picked up on. The unexplained bird. This red bird, which follows the Oracle everywhere. At first, it was assumed to be just a small animal that helped her around prophesizing, but then, in the episode revolving around Aladdin and Jasmine, we saw it again, with Jafar, the enemy. And it is my clear assumption that this red bird was meant to be Iago, the main red bird in the movie Aladdin. This is all obvious, but when we see it with the Oracle in Storybrooke, it's Iago, which is helping her out, so the question is this Jafar in disguise the Oracle? Iago is clue number 1, but we'll need a bit more before we can say anything definitively. I know that the producers of this show likely hate me for trying to spoil everything. Clue number 2 that Jafar is disguising is that the Oracle was found in the season premiere in the first scene with Aladdin. Jafar walked, or floated, into their little sand hut. Then he grabbed the Oracle magically and threw her into the wall. We are unsure as to whether or not this kills her, but we do know that this is the real girl. The camera then performs a rather odd shot and sort of focuses in on her unconscious body, showing a large bloody cut on her left cheek. Then, a small unspecified amount of time later, Aladdin finds his way into Storybrooke, and the Oracle finds her way into the land of untold stories. This will all, of course, be explained later this season, but I'm thinking that Jafar finished her off, posed as her, and then tricked Jasmine into coming with him to the land of untold stories to wait out Regina's curse, where they could then travel to Storybrooke to find Aladdin, which is exactly what we see. Jasmine and the Oracle working together. I'm betting 100% that this is all how it plays out, but we'll just have to wait and see. The main problem here, though, is that 30 years passed during this time, and we see the Oracle in Storybrooke with her left cheek still wounded. And it's not a scar, it's more of a recent injury. The Land of Untold Stories pauses lives, but it does not pause the healing of wounds. I mean, I suppose it might actually, because, the poison from the Agrabah viper that was in the Count of Monte Cristo's girl kind of didn't affect her until she got out of that land. But also the Agrabah viper venom is deathly, and this cut is not, so wounds would be healed, but deathly things are paused. So it still does make sense. Later we find the Oracle dead in Storybrooke, killed by the venom of an Agrabah viper by the evil queen. I've always found it so weird that Jafar is from Agrabah, and it's a viper that kills this girl. So I'm thinking that it's all a fake body put there by Jafar. The evil queen only thinks she killed the Oracle, and Jafar is still out there possibly posing as somebody else. Maybe Jafar kept that scar on his cheek to convince Jasmine while in the land of untold stories. Clue number 3 that he is posing is that the Oracle has a staff in Storybrooke which is shaped sort of like a snake and has glowing red eyes that are turned on whenever she tries to show a person a vision. Now this is very similar to what Jafar does in the Disney movie to the Sultan, and also what he does in this very show to the Sultan. And my thoughts on this are insane. Prepared? Here's what I think. Jafar was giving Emma these false visions of a deathly future in order to scare her into betraying her friends. The only problem with this is that Gideon ends up actually wanting to kill Emma. So, are Jafar and the Black Fairy in a conspiring duo? I don't know, it seems far-fetched, but it fits, it works, and it smoothly clicks into place. I mean, it is Gideon who ends up turning the evil queen into a cobra, Jafar's signature spirit animal, and it's the Oracle who shows Emma the sword to kill the evil queen. So, something else I also find bizarre is Belle's visions of Gideon. Although the sands of Morpheus are a powerful thing, the remaining dreams of the sun in Belle's mind are very strange, and the things he asks her to do are beyond bizarre, especially if he's an undeveloped fetus. He asks her to leave Rumpel and to find a book to destroy him, and to give him away to the Blue Fairy, which inevitably gets him taken by the Black Fairy. And the literal fact that he is a conscious adult in her dreams indicates one thing: it isn't her son. It isn't her son. It's the visions, which I already explained are Jafar's specialty. Clue number 4 that he is posing is that the Oracle suddenly disappears and reappears at will, dropping huge psychological bombs on her patients before vanishing instantly, leaving them with mental terror.
What you saw was a small piece of the end of your story, Savior. There has to be another way. You can change the path to the destination, but the destination is the same. On the day you saw, in the battle you saw, you will die.
She uses the color of red smoke when dealing with all of her magic, and this is the exact same color that Jafar uses. Clue number 5 that he is a poser is that the Oracle was a nurse back in Agrabah, not a prophet of sorts. So what changed all this? All she did was venture to a new land. Jafar. I continue to repeat, Jafar. He is showing false visions. She doesn't just suddenly become an oracle unless it ain't her anymore. Clue number 6, and this is the final clue I have, is that the writers and producers have stated that Jafar will return in a big way in the second half of Season 6. Boom. We know he'll return, we know of my theory now, we know this will come to pass. You know my prediction, now we wait. I also have other little theories on this show. For example, shouldn't Greg Mendel still be alive? His shadow was taken by Pan's shadow, and when they killed Pan's shadow, everything it took was restored. So technically, Greg is alive in Neverland alone. And I also predict that this season will explain why the Black Fairy is so evil. My assumption? She was exiled by the Blue Fairy for getting close to Peter Pan, making Rumpel. Exiled and angered at her boy who was taken from her, she steals everyone else's babies to compensate. I predict that the Wish world and the real world will collide in the season finale and produce a massive explosion of symbolic duality, and that they'll finish off the evil queen by allowing Regina to absorb her, realizing that she needs to accept all parts of herself. I predict that Emma will break her parents' curse. Snow and David constantly go on this season about how their life paths always lead them to each other and then to Emma. I think I'm nailing all of this. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. And when the season's over, I'll update my massive tree. So this video was slightly longer than I expected, but no matter. Upcoming in the next couple weeks is a Minecraft video and a video covering a very popular mobile game of the past. See you all later.